Welcome and happy Valentine's Day, and to what has become an honorary tradition on the Dzeeff channel. We bring my girlfriend on, make her uncomfortable by asking her questions in a public forum, and it's great for everyone. How's it going?
It's great.
Yeah? All right, do you feel really experienced with this after 4 years of doing it?
Not as much as I should.
All right, well, we got some great questions here. So, how has your perception of Yu-Gi-Oh! Changed over the past, 4 years?
So, going into it, I didn't know, a lot about the community. I just kind of was like, okay, here's, a bunch of fat, smelly nerds just doing weird things and wasting time and money. But now that I've, actually, gone to events and, met people, and obviously Doug does Yu-Gi-Oh! Not everyone's just, a fat, smelly, rude Yu-Gi-Oh! Player that I thought. So.
No, Magic players are like that.
But maybe if you get into Magic, you'd disagree. No, probably not. But no, I mean, now it's just a fun pastime. I view it kind of the same as just any hobby. I mean, some people knit, some people play Yu-Gi-Oh, some people run. Y'all just do things that make us happy.
Okay. How is your perception on how much it costs changed? I mean, when I first met you, I wasn't spending that much money on the game, but I wasn't not spending any money on the game. So I mean, watching someone, did you right away make the comparison between, oh, it's not that different spending $100 on a deck as it is spending $100 on running shoes, or was that kind of hard because it's just cardboard?
So I think it's different because I spent $100 on a pair of running shoes, and in the course of a year, all my running stuff probably costs $500 if you count any protein shakes, running shoes. I'm more for the people who use gym memberships and stuff. But for Yu-Gi-Oh, you could, and some people do, spend very little money. Other people, on the other hand, are rarity whores and love just buying a bunch of cards that are really shiny or spending $200 to pull a place at a commons. So, I mean, you can really make the game whatever price you want.
I think I spend less money on it than I did.
Well, you do now.
4
so,
years ago. Other
you
than
started out
that incident.
Not spending a lot of money because, when we first started dating, you kind of just, stopped playing the game for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after that, we didn't have a lot of money. And then, you went into this period where, you just, would spend, hundreds of dollars a week on, you had your paycheck spent before you got it. And now it's, leveled back out. So, that's what I was saying. You can choose how much you spend on the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fluid according to what you want to do with it.
Sure. So, just for context to the audience, you played Yu-Gi-Oh! At real events back in 2015, a couple of them. You played in the 150th YCS. There's a great feature match out there. Go look it up. You played in that? A regional. You played in a couple locals. At those events, what was the hardest part about playing?
About actually playing, I mean, so normally when we go to events and I don't play, which is most of them, I can go get people food, and which means I'm also getting my food, and then I also go get coffee, and I love those things. Food and coffee are great. But when I have to worry about when the next round's coming up, I can't just go get food, and I can't go get coffee, and everyone that I went with is also playing. So then it's no one's getting us food and no one's getting us coffee, and that sucked. So definitely realize how important it is, or how much I prefer to have someone in the group that's not playing, and I'm okay to be that person because I'm not very good at Yu-Gi-Oh, and I love coffee more than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, what was the hardest part of the actual gameplay, sitting down across from an opponent?
Oh, not knowing the other person's cards. I mean, if you're just going by the matches themselves versus the overall event. So the matches themselves, it's just I don't have a lot of experience with the game, especially when I was playing. So not knowing what my opponents do, or there were a couple times. I guess it's worth noting that my opponent definitely just didn't think I knew anything because I was a girl, and that kind of worked to my advantage a couple times because I was able to do things with my cards that I knew I could do, but they're just oh, you're probably wrong. But then I'm just no, I know kind of what I'm doing.
You called
I had
a
call
head judge over to that starter deck battle at the WCQ. I've never seen a head judge called to a 10-person side event before. That's pretty crazy.
Well, I was pissed because
you were right.
I was right. Okay. So I have very little experience in the game, and if I know a ruling, you should probably too. Especially if you were telling me how long you've been playing and stuff. you should know a ruling if I do.
Well, we won't put that guy on blast, even though it was a pretty easy ruling. So I guess you like kind of touched that, and you're not really like a female player, but what do you think like the challenges of being a female in the community are, both from like a player's perspective, which you have a little bit knowledge of, and then also just from like a normal person, like a girlfriend coming to the event perspective?
So this was definitely more of an issue the first few events I went to, and definitely more of an issue when we go to smaller events other than Garden City, because most of the people at our normal locals at least recognize me. So like I'm not just like some random face for most of the people there. It's a pretty set group of people that go, but people definitely just like gawking or acting inappropriately towards me, especially when I'm like walking around by myself. And I remember especially for the first couple events, like our friend Lucas would be there with us, and there'd be times where like he saw someone like staring at me, and he'd like come up and just like hold my hand and like pretend to be Doug for me, so that people would just like leave me alone. And I haven't had that issue ever at really a big event or like small events since, but like that first year of going to events actually was like pretty bad, unfortunately.
Well, at the big events there are like girls, like especially at like the WCQ and YCSs and stuff, there are like lots of girlfriends going, because it's more like a travel oriented thing, and it's like for the weekend. So
no, it's like sense. Definitely like when you're like out, and like I'm perfectly fine like being outnumbered. That doesn't actually bother me. It's like when people aren't being respectful about it. And I never had like someone like come up and like try to touch me or something, but like if I can see you blatantly staring at me or just like making rude remark or inappropriate remarks to your friends, it's just kind of like unnecessary. But I've noticed that like as I've gone through and no longer look like just like I guess a random face at most of the small events we go to, it's not as big of an issue. But I've definitely seen it happen to other girls, and I've definitely played interference for them, and it's just kind of, that's really annoying. It's like, yeah, we're in the minority, but we shouldn't feel uncomfortable about it.
Yeah. What do you tell your friends and your family that I do for a living?
So Doug hates this. I tell them, drumroll, the truth, because I don't care. And he hates it. And sometimes I have to explain it more than others. And like sometimes like if they say that they know Magic or Pokemon, like I'll just like play it. Yeah, it's like similar to that. If they don't seem like terribly interested, or they like are really proud of themselves for like kind of knowing what it is. But then I've had other people who are like really interested and like want to know what it is. A couple people have actually then come out to your channel and like watched videos with
like
me.
The worst
like,
part, I think.
So like, no, I just tell them the truth, because like I don't really care. Like, it is what it is. I mean, there have been times where I've been with a friend, and her and I actually just like ended up it's really funny because she knows him, but we ended up just like Googling Doug for like an entire work shift because no one showed up, and watching videos, and I was telling her about Yugioh, and it was fun.
So I just want to say that in 2018 I have started being more comfortable telling people it, just because the numbers are like there, but it was more like so like a year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, where like there weren't any numbers. So it's like, yeah, I spent a lot of time doing this, and also like I'm not very successful. But I think for me personally, it's difficult because it's already difficult telling people that you make YouTube videos for a living, but then to also explain that it's about a card game. So it's like two parts. Because even like if I had like a more normal channel that was just like, even at this point, like video games are pretty normal. And some people that like I tell like, oh, I play like Yu-Gi-Oh, they ask if it's a video game, I just say yeah, sure, whatever. Even in that case, it's like it's easier if I was making like makeup videos or like tutorial videos or like cooking videos. That's a lot easier to explain that, oh, not only do I have this weird revenue of like income, I also like play this card game, and like I have to make a video every single day about it. So it's, but I've gotten better.
Yes.
I've gotten better about it. I'm a little more comfortable.
When you were working at Home Depot, I'd be like any like general acquaintances, I'd just say like, oh, he works at Home Depot. Or when you worked at Ace, I'd say work at Ace. But like with my family or like super close people, or like Alicia, who I was talking about, like she knew who you were, so she already kind of knew. Then it's just like I didn't feel a reason not to just be like, yeah. And like with my family, I need them to like not feel deceived or something.
Yeah, I just told people at Home Depot that I quit to focus on school, which isn't not true. It's just not. the full truth. But,
Whereas I tell people he quit Home Depot because he wanted to pursue something that actually can take him somewhere.
That's true.
And
that's pretty
further
true.
than Home Depot can.
Yeah, I guess the last question would be, I mean, so when we started dating, I think I had 2,000 subscribers. I made like one video a week, and I also didn't even have ads running. What is the transition from you, from a observer perspective, been like to watch me go from that to like this? I mean, you've been there for all the laptop on floor, microphone on floor recording sessions. I've used a lot of your desks for recording sessions, and you saw like the introductions of like me starting out live streams. What has like been the your perspective on the transitionary period from nothing to something?
I mean, I've personally just thought it to be like really cool, and I've tried to like tell you like I can like see you actually get like way more excited to like record things, and you're always like putting notes in your phone like, oh my gosh, I want to make a video about this, I want to make a video about that. And like I remember like one time when you were like about the ads thing, you're like, I don't want to like sell out and get ads, but then you like realized that like if you did that you'd be able to like actually give more to the community. And I saw that transition of like you weren't doing it less necessarily for like what you originally viewed more, I guess, like selfish reasons, but you were just like, no, like if I can get revenue from this, I can do more. So, I mean, that was cool. I don't know. For me, it's really fun to like see you get excited about it. I like you having your computer because I see how much easier it is for you. You're not like staying up till like 2 a.m. trying to edit a video, having it like render, wake up in the middle of the night to like start uploading
Yeah,
it.
there were a lot of 3 a.m.
like,
alarms to make sure that I would get uploaded.
Like,
That was the worst.
and like, I don't know, like it was cool to like see you that dedicated to it, and I don't think that you're any less dedicated now. I think you're more dedicated, but it's cool to like see you be able to do that with greater ease and like still equally as much excitement, if not more.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's going to wrap up this year's Valentine's special. You'll probably not be on the channel until next year because this is awful. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But, okay, anyway, I'll see you guys later. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Goodbye.